Greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining me once again for Electric Avenue's YouTube updates. And this will be the last of my record store day videos, I believe. This will be the fourth video that I've done featuring a lot of record store day stuff. I used to kind of think about splitting these out and doing them all separate. And honestly, there's just too many records all the time, and we have a new release day tomorrow, which is April 11th, and then Record Store Day on the 12th. So I'm combining these a little bit as I've done in one or two other of these. So if you go back the last 4 weeks, you're going to see all of the Record Store Day stuff and new release stuff. So it is what it is. So I'm going to start today with some of the new release things that will be here for Record Store Day as well, unless they sell out for some reason on Friday. And honestly, the ones that are kind of prominent, we have quite a few copies of, so hopefully they're still here. And if not, we can get more. So here goes. I'm going to start off with actually kind of a big reissue. And people were talking about this when it was announced maybe like 6 weeks ago. But Smashing Pumpkins and Siamese Dream, and this is the RSD Essential pressing. So Record Store Day as an entity decided that Record Store Day itself was just not enough because there was such interest in it. So throughout the year, they'll do special pressings of popular albums, underground albums, what have you. And this one was kind of like no exception as a popular one. And people were pretty excited when they saw it because it's on limited red smoke vinyl. So it's a color vinyl edition. It has the original cover instead of the kind of foil cover that they usually do. And it's also about $10 cheaper than that. So you get the full Siamese Dream here on red smoke vinyl. So that's the first thing. Now I got to find places to put these. I didn't quite sort all of this out before I started. The next thing, which this I kind of was a little slightly irritated that they shorted us in our shipment, but I hope to get more of these. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. This is a live version of Nonagon Infinity, or Nonagon to Infinity. It's on Nonagon Infinity Live. This is the Fuzz Club edition, which might be out for some people already, but the cool thing about it, when it shipped, it was kind of like the top was sort of coming out, and I'm like, oh, this is too cool. I have to show it. And so I can see why it got shorted, because someone probably had sticky fingers somewhere, but it's an octagonal shaped red record there. So yeah, that's King Gizzard Live. There will probably be more of these at some point, I'm sure. But anyway, and Nonagon Infinity, Nonagon to Infinity, one of their most popular records. So an earlier record too. One of the ones that kind of broke them into the mainstream. That and Flying Microtonal Banana were the two I think that really kind of pushed them towards the public, towards their fan base. This record I'm really excited about. It's gotten extremely good press, and the singles from it have been very good. Bon Iver's new record, Sable Fable. About the title is interesting, but sort of stark packaging. The last one had kind of a wraparound thing, plastic on it. It's been a good 6 years, 7 years maybe since the last record. It feels like it's been a while. He's been working on this for a while, Justin has. So anyway, this is the indie exclusive black and pink vinyl pressing, and well, or they say salmon. We'll have this as long as we have it until they run out. So, but I think that album is probably going to be on some people's year-end favorites because it's getting that kind of press. A new record from this band that was sort of, all of a sudden they're playing shows and it's like, hey, they've got a new record coming. What? They're playing live and they're playing the album Mars Volta and their new album, Lucro Sucio, Los Ojos del Vacío. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it's a very nondescript package here too. It's like a brown bag, but Mars Volta, always interesting. Their last record, they kind of took a detour and went a little bit more sort of, I don't know, kind of new wavy or something. So I don't know what this sounds like, to be quite honest. But I'll be checking it out. They're an interesting band. Somebody that I showed the CD, and I'm really, really loving this album, Mickey Berenier Trio, and their new album, Tripla. This is their debut as a Mickey Berenier Trio. The last two records were under the name Parashka, and two of the members left and a new member came in. And now it's more under her name. She was the lead singer of the band Lush, hence the artwork. It's very 4AD, very kind of 80s into the 90s kind of stuff. One of the, I think the same guy that was not the original, but the second one who was doing 480 stuff, Chris Big, did the artwork. Fantastic. It's on Coke bottle, clear vinyl, green. I think it's Coke bottle green. I don't know if it's clear. But anyway, I'm really, really loving this record. Kinch is such a great song. Vertigo is a great song. Eighth Deadly Sin is a fantastic opener. Different Girl is very, like, if you're into like Lush and The Cure and stuff like that, it's got that kind of, that vibe of sort of like the shoegazy stuff. So great album. Probably be on my year-end list too somewhere. I'm really liking it. Megan Thee Stallion and her album Traumazine. This came out a few months ago streaming, and now it's out on vinyl. It was actually supposed to be a record store day release, and then they bumped it up a day and took it off the list. So this is black vinyl, Megan Thee Stallion. We have a couple of these right now. Key Glock, Lotto, Pooh Shiesty, Rico Nasty, Janae Aiko, Future, Dua Lipa. They all make like cameos on that record. So this one I have to preface and say, like, this story is so tragic. I don't know if I can even talk about this on the video, but I'll make brief mention of it. Nell Smith and her debut record, Anxious. If you don't know the story of Nell Smith, she was a 17-year-old who the Flaming Lips heard her singing some of their songs on YouTube or something and were really impressed, and asked her if she wanted to be to do an album with them. I think actually at the time she was like 13 or 14. Has a very unique girly voice, kind of not a high voice. And anyway, she was like kind of amazed that they were interested, and so she decided to record an album with them of Nick Cave cover songs. And it came out maybe 3 years ago, and it was an interesting record. It wasn't like set the world on fire, but it was an interesting introduction to her. And then last year, maybe 2 years ago, she committed suicide and tragically died at age 17. So this is the album that she was working on at the time, called Anxious. And it's just so heartbreaking and tragic. But yeah, she did all the vocals, lead vocals on the album. And I guess whatever they had, they sort of went ahead and finished. But yeah, Nell Smith. And it will probably be her only album. So horrible. Valerie June and her new release. This is called Owls, Omens, and Oracles. This is the Indie Store exclusive on Canary Yellow vinyl, featuring Joy Joy, Endless Tree, and more, produced by M. Ward of She and Him fame. Valerie's kind of like an Americana Southern soul singer, sort of. She's very interesting. There's a lot of folk in her music. One of these songs features Blind Boys of Alabama, so she is definitely like unique artist in the way that like somebody like Rhiannon Giddens is. Galactic and Irma Thomas. Yes, that's right, Irma Thomas, a new record, and it's called Audience with the Queen. And this is the Soul Queen of New Orleans teams up with Galactic. Eight new original songs, exclusive limited edition sky blue gold smoke vinyl. If we run out of these, I'll order more. We don't have a lot of them, but that could be of interest for some people. And also, I don't know if I'm saying this right, DeHote and Nick Cave. And this is a record called Burnin' the Ice. And so I was not really expecting a new Nick Cave release this week, and it turns out this is a reissue. This is limited edition, 1,000 in red vinyl only. And this Kid Congo says, I liked what I heard as scraping and screaming guitar and voice. Throw a strand of Morricone spaghetti into the mix, and my enjoyment of twang. 1982 two-guitar band DeHote records 7 songs with razor-sharp ferocity and concentration. 4 songs are especially for a young Australian singer who made a name for himself with The Birthday Party, and that was from Larry Mullen's Stooges, Iggy Pop, and Swans. So, yeah, unique record. Nick Cave has had quite a career and has come from very kind of sort of, actually his earliest stuff is kind of new wavy, and then he got very confrontationally punk when he moved to England with Birthday Party, and sort of has shifted quite a ways over to being the gothic Bob Dylan of my generation. So amazing writer, probably one of the best writers of my generation. LL Cool J, All World, Greatest Hits, and this features I Can't Live Without My Radio, Rock the Bells, I'm Bad, I Need Love, Going Back to Cali, and Jack the Ripper, Jingling Baby, Big Old Butt, Boomin' System, Around the Way Girl, Mama Said Knock You Out. I mean, it's kind of got everything that you really want from LL up to a certain point. Doing It's on there. Cat Stevens and his record Back to Earth. Yusuf still being called, but this is special lenticular artwork for this includes Last Love Song and Bad Breaks, and that's a pretty cool sort of, ooh, the water's flowing. But you know, he had quite a few records, and a few of them, these were sort of later into the 70s. I wonder what year, if it says on here what year it was, or it doesn't. But I want to say like later 70s probably. This band is still pretty popular, and this record is, I'd say it's probably still their most popular, one of their most popular. Strange Trails by Lord Huron, and this is the 10th anniversary of it. This is a limited edition sort of cover, re-illustrated cover, and brand new 20-page The Yawning Grave comic book, 2 LP with gatefold jacket and printed inner sleeves. This is on black vinyl. There might be a different version from their site, I don't know, but it's pretty cool reimagining of the artwork. I like the comic sort of vibe of it. Speaking of comics, Less Than Jake and Hello Rockview. This was kind of a popular sort of punky, I guess it was a bit of ska record back in the day. Help Save the Youth of America from Exploding, All My Best Friends Are Metalheads, History of a Boring Town, Richard Allen George, No, It's Just Cheese. Scott Farkas, Takes It on the Chin. So anyway, I love the artwork. I always love the artwork on that record. I seem to have a theme going here. Green Jelly and Serial Killer soundtrack. This, I ordered a few copies and they only sent me one. I don't think that they made very many of this. I think I heard maybe 1,000. It's some kind of splatter color vinyl. But this does feature Three Little Pigs and Serial Killer and Anarchy in the UK, Tripping on XTC, Misadventures of Shitman. So, I don't know. If you remember, if you were around during the Green Jelly era, you know how popular that record was. Okay, and a couple of Bob Dylan reissues. The self-titled Bob Dylan and The Times They Are Changin' Bob Dylan. And these are very affordable, $23, and they're the original mono mixes, repressings of these. So again, I can get more of those. So if you don't see it tomorrow, don't or Saturday, don't have a conniption because there's going to be plenty of you for you to look at anyway, so you should be fine. And then another thing that's actually on Record Store Day, but there's a non-Record Store Day version, is Video Game Lo-Fi, the I don't know if I can say it, Karaga Records sampler. Someone out there can correct me. I'm not really that much into video game. I love like good video game music when I hear it, but I don't know really a lot. I mean, I'm just being honest. There's so many things for me to follow. I just do what I can. But I will say, like, some of the, like, Minecraft, before the movie came out, some of the music for that was selling really well. Some of the anime stuff too. So anyway, this features main theme, Undertale theme, Simple and Clean, Brinstar, Vista Point, From Past to Present. But there, like I said, there is a Record Store Day version of this. But again, I think we only have a few of that. So if that runs out, there's always the other version. Okay. Oh, and CDs. So I spent the first 15 minutes on the releases. Gerald Clayton, a Blue Note, and Heather Nova, Breath and Air. I think they're both available on vinyl. Well, at least I know the Heather is, if you're interested. Okay. More Record Store Day stuff. Okay. We'll do this a little at a time here. Sit back, folks. Okay, Geddy Lee, and I don't think I mentioned this before, the Lost Demos, Gone and I Am, You Are. This is a kind of like a long EP, 2 songs, but lost demos for them. Originally recorded during the writing sessions of his 2000 album, My Favorite Headache. First time on vinyl. This only runs about $17, so it's not a break the bank thing. I may have mentioned that in a video. I don't remember. I'm kind of at the point now where I can't remember exactly what I've mentioned and what I haven't, and I moved things around so much that it's kind of hard to remember sometimes. This is awesome. B-52s, their first album on a picture disc. Hello, Rock Lobster, Planet Claire, Dance This Mess Around, 52 Girls, Lava. I mean, a classic record. Here's something that I think was sort of unexpected and was a late addition. The Cure's Alone. This is a remix that was done by Fortet, I believe. But these are like pretty limited. So I think they didn't make very many of them. I don't want to say exactly how many, but I don't know. But that will be probably something sought after. The other Cure thing was the Head on the Door picture disc. I'm pretty sure I showed that. Dead Sarah, Ain't It Tragic? And this features the new lead singer of Linkin Park. Emily Armstrong, Susie Medley, and Sean Friday. I don't know if I mentioned this either. Pressed on Lemonade vinyl. We did get a few of those. So, all right. And then Eddie Vedder, Save It for Later, and Room at the Top. These are cover songs that he's done. I'm not sure when they were done. So Room at the Top was done live, and that's the Tom Petty Room at the Top. And then Save It for Later, the English Beat. All right. Did not get a lot of those. Something that we got really, really shorted on, and they say they're going to make more of these later. So I think I ordered like, I don't know, 15 and got like 1. Oasis, Time Flies. Maybe I mentioned this too. I don't think so. This is the remastered color vinyl edition of this. The complete Oasis singles collection. So it's kind of like a big greatest hits album. Has Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, Live Forever, Roll With It, Stop Crying Your Heart Out. It also has the song Whatever, which was recently reissued as a 7-inch. And that was limited and color vinyl, and those are gone. That song, just never understood why they never released that in America. It wasn't on any of the albums. It wasn't on even Master Plan collection. It was a #1 hit in England, and it was a very catchy song. It would have been huge in America, but no, they didn't release it. So anyway, maybe they thought it was too pop. I don't know. But funny enough, they made maybe like 5,000 of these. This is number 4213. That's also 4,213. But America only got 950 of them. So to have one, considering that there are 1,700 stores or whatever doing Record Store Day, I'm happy about that. But I wish we had more of them. So anyway, sorry if you come out for that. Maybe you'd be almost better off. I hate to say it, but waiting for the black vinyl to come out. Okay. Oh, gosh. I told you there's a lot. Oh, let me get situated here. I don't want to break my feet or anything. You wouldn't want me to not be able to stand on Saturday. The Killers with Bruce Springsteen and Encore at the Garden. So, two great artists coming together, doing great stuff. Badlands, Dustland, and Born to Run, done as duets. So again, that one was sort of, our order was cut down on that. I think we got maybe less than half of what we ordered. So this is like what can be expected of Record Store Day. The Rembrandts LP, this features the theme song from Friends. I'll be there for you. Yeah, you don't want me singing that. First time on vinyl, special opaque yellow pressing, 2 LP with 4 bonus tracks. This was a big hit back in the day, mainly because of that. But I think also there was another song from this that was pretty popular. Can't remember which one it is, but I remember we played this album a lot in the shop back in the day when it came out on CD, because it was good power pop. It was catchy. Sam Smith, and sort of, I want to say vintage Sam Smith. This is from like back kind of when he started. This is limited edition double vinyl, BBC Proms at the Royal Albert Hall. I don't think that this is this new? Maybe this is, no. I'm so bad about some of this stuff. If I'm if I'm like sort of on the fence with the artist, I don't really research that, but at least I know how to pronounce Sam Smith. So anyway, new Sam Smith release. I'm also self-deprecating when I need to be. Spy Boy with Emmylou Harris. This record was great, and it sold a lot on CD when it came out. It is her with Buddy Miller and a bunch of great players here. It's their live album from the all-star Wrecking Ball touring band. So the Wrecking Ball album came out, and then this was the touring band. First time on vinyl, now with 5 previously unreleased tracks. For those who never experienced Spy Boy in action, this album is the next best thing. And it really was kind of, I mean, Emmylou has always been great, but that was a really golden era for her. Wrecking Ball was such a great album, and then the couple that came after that, especially those Red Dirt Girl, and anyway, Love Hurts is on here, and yeah, Born to Run too. So anyway, Emmylou and Spy Boy. A couple of Pink Floyd related things. Nick Mason, and this is Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets Echoes Live. Featuring Guy Pratt, I can't see that, Lee Harris, and Gary Kemp. It's actually a really good group of people. Gary Kemp, he's a Spandau Ballet, right? Yeah, interesting group of players. And Echoes, they do that album, or that song live, mixed by Steven Wilson. All right, so there's one for Prague fans. Another one, Dark Side of the Moon, the Roger Waters version done live. This is the recent reimagining live version, Redux live or redo, the reimagined live on neon pink vinyl. This order got way cut back too, so if you don't get it, I'm sorry. Maybe they'll reissue it later. Isabel Campbell and Mark Lanigan, And Mark passed away a couple years ago. Another tragic, tragic passing. Lead singer of Screaming Trees, and Isabel was a once member of Belle and Sebastian. This album's called Keep Me in Mind, Sweetheart. They did a few records together, actually. And this is Gems from the Sunday at Devil Dirt Sessions. Simply Too Good to Be Left Behind. Mastered at Abbey Road, limited edition. It's kind of like a long EP, really. Fight Fire with Fire, Asleep on a Sixpence, Violin Tango, Rambling Rose, Clinging Vine, and Hang On. So it's sad when you come across some of these artists that you listen to and you thought, man, they were great, and you just know it's not going to happen again. There was that moment in time. Speaking of moments in time, the Thompson Twins and Into the Gap live. This is an 80s classic, this era. Into the Gap live, released for the first time ever on limited edition turquoise and yellow vinyl. This order got cut way down. We don't have a lot of these. The Gap has You Take Me Up, Hold Me Now, their biggest hit, Hold Me Now, A Doctor Doctor, In the Name of Love, Sisters of Mercy, Love on Your Side, Lies. They were really it's hard to kind of explain to kids how popular some of that stuff was back in the day. I mean, we still have groups like Duran Duran who are still out there making stuff, and Tom from that group is out doing solo stuff, but they were almost as popular as a band like Duran. So at that time, Cowboy Junkies, and this is their More Acoustic Junk, limited edition yellow vinyl. 5 new acoustic recordings, 5 new ones, plus 5 tracks from the original Acoustic Junk with 3 newly remixed. So this is 10 tracks. In My Time of Need, Unanswered Letter, Angels in the Wilderness, Fairy Tale, He Will Call You Baby, Margot Timmons and Company. What a special voice. And their music is all so haunting all the time. So, okay, here's a couple things I know people are going crazy. Are you going to show this? Or is this Talking Heads? Yes. Live on Tour 78. We're going to have a fair amount of these. The order did get cut, so it's probably about the same that we had last year of that live record. But this is exciting because I'm hoping that they keep going through Talking Heads' career and keep doing some of these live records, because the more they add, the cooler their catalog gets. And I can't wait until they get to Fear of Music, Remain in Light, Speaking in Tongues, those eras, because we have the big movie soundtrack now, Stop Making Sense, but these are really cool documents too. Also, there's that other live record that they have, the name of this band. This features songs from 78, so really the first 2 albums, Big Country, Warning Sign, The Good Thing, Artists Only, The Girls Want to Be with the Girls, Electricity, Drugs, New Feeling, Found a Job, Thank You for Sending Me an Angel, Psycho Killer, and Take Me to the River. So 1978, that's a little early. They're slightly punkier, but yeah. Another one that a lot of people keep asking about, and he's the ambassador for Record Store Day, Post Malone, and this is his Nirvana covers album. So the tribute to Nirvana, Good Luck, Mr. Malone. This, I think we ended up getting about half of what I ordered. So, but there are a fair number of these. Someone said to me, they're like, oh, I want the Post Malone EP or single. And I was like, it's not a single, it's an album. There's a dozen songs on here he does. And they were like, oh. I was like, yeah, he did a whole concert where he, sort of put on a Kurt sort of smock dress, and it was during COVID, and it was a pretty cool show. And I think it kind of opened the doors for Post Malone to do things other than just the hip hop stuff that people are always talking about. All right, Bill Evans, Further Ahead. And this is one of those Elemental Records recordings that we get a lot. Zev Feldman is responsible for this, getting out there. Eddie Gomez on bass, Marty Morell on drums. Bill Evans, always probably the most popular jazz artist releases, or some of them that we have on Record Store Day. Never before released, Bill Evans in Finland, 1964 to 69. This is audio transferred by Matt Lutens at Mastering Lab. Features a bunch of other people here. Chuck Israels, Larry Bunker, and people. Lee Konitz is on here. So that's always popular. I mean, he really was one of the great, if not the greatest. Well, I don't know. I would put him up there with Monk and Art Tatum. Just some really incredible. Herbie Hancock. I mean, there's really great piano players. All right. If you're a Duran Duran fan, I already mentioned this. The Dance Macabre Deluxe track, the bonus edition. So the last Duran Duran album was an album of sort of, they were covering their own songs, they were covering songs by other people, and they were sort of coming up with new songs. It's kind of a hodgepodge thing, and they were doing sort of like Halloween inspired type spookier music, right? With their own sort of pop edge. And these are the songs. They put out a deluxe box set last year when they put out the deluxe version of the album with extra tracks. And the box set had a few more songs that you could only get if you bought the box set, and it was like $300. Well, if you'd waited a little bit, here they are on this cool zoetrope thing. When this spins, the skeletons dance. And not only that, but it's got their cover of ELO's Evil Woman. That's actually pretty damn good. They do Spooky also, cover of that. And then they do sort of a reworking of their own song, New Moon on Monday, Dark Phase. It's a little bit different. And then side B is like 4 instrumental and spoken word kind of tracks by Nick, the keyboardist from the group. So if you're a Duran collector, you might be wanting that. Okay, hold on just a second. I got another pile. Oh. This is like, whoops. There went my screen. Sorry about that. This is such a workout here, folks. All right. I don't know if I showed this or not. This is really cool and cute. This is the Vince Guaraldi. It's the Easter Beagle Charlie Brown, a 10-inch. And the records in here, they're selections from the soundtrack, but they're shaped like eggs, like Easter eggs. They're different colors. Which color will you find? And it's the Surprise Easter Egg 2025 edition. It's cute. I love Vince Guaraldi too. So Royal Otis, the Nashville Sessions. This band is kind of blowing up, and this is limited edition bone color vinyl. Oysters in My Pocket, Sofa King, and Fade Into You, which might be a Mazzy Star cover. I don't know. Maybe someone who's a Royal Otis fan can say in the comments. Alex Chilton and Set. This is an Alex Chilton release at the top of his game. 12 songs recorded live in the studio on a long night in 1999, resulting in what Scott Schinder of Pulse called his finest and most personal recording, and Rolling Stone called it one of his most committed performances. So they only made 1,500 of these on Hot Memphis Sun colored vinyl. So maybe a yellow. What is Hot Memphis Sun? The Bad Livers, and this is called Delusions of Banger. If I said that right. And this is the classic Bad Livers debut album, available on vinyl for the first time since 1992. Limited 1,500 again on candy corn vinyl, produced by Paul Leary, Butthole Surfers fame. So there you go. There's a good picture of them. All right. Mahalia Jackson, and looking fabulous. They're moving on up a little higher. So Jesus meets moving on up. And The world's greatest gospel singer, the music of Mahalia Jackson will never go out of style. And here she does Keep Your Hand on the Plow, Dark Was the Night and Cold the Ground, Troubles of the World. That song kills me. It's so great. His Eyes on the Sparrow. There you go. The Sword is kind of more rock stuff here. Warp Riders, The Sword's iconic third album, returns with a crucial 15th anniversary edition, remixed from the original sessions and remastered, housed in a embossed jacket. It is pretty. Limited to 4,000 worldwide on Sea of Pyres colored vinyl. One of their best. So says the sticker. The Dictators and New York Deed. I'm sorry, DFFD. I remember it's called DFFD. It's been a while since I looked at the title of this. Who Will Save Rock and Roll? I Am Right. Pussy and Money. Moronic Inferno. What's up with that? It's all right. I can't say these. The Savage Beat. It's been a long day. I've been here. What time is it? I mean, I've been here. It's like 10 hours, and I'm still doing this for the people. So I hope you appreciate it. Okay, Free Nationals, and this is a very heavily sampled group for hip hop, and this is the instrumental version on black vinyl, limited to 5,000 worldwide. I'm trying to remember who uses so much Free Nationals music in theirs. Is it? I want to say maybe it's like Anderson .Paak. I can't remember. But anyway, Free Nationals instrumental. So if you just want to hear him play, it's a pretty cool record. Skip James. We're talking blues now. Hard Time Killin' Floor. The most stylistically original and idiosyncratic of all the early blues greats. Haunting vocals and dazzling guitar playing. Make the hair stand up on the back of your neck, says All Music. Skip James. You get a lot of writing on the back of that too. Carla Thomas. Try this again, people. Sweet Sweetheart. This actually looks like kind of country themed stuff. It's a translucent light blue vinyl featuring songs written by James Taylor, the Bee Gees, and Goffin and King. This is on Craft Recordings. She does Country Road, To Love Somebody, Heidi Ho, I Think I Love You Again, Everything is Beautiful. She's a class act. All right. Ronnie Wood, live at Electric Ladyland. Look where they put the sticker. Is that like, seems like it's off. It's way off. It's covering up his name. It says 9 classic tracks, 1 legendary performance, legendary limited edition color vinyl. Ronnie of Rolling Stones fame. So if you like the Stones, there's another piece for you to be thinking about. The Jayhawks and a great Americana record, Blue Earth. This also features a 7-inch with 4 songs, making their vinyl debut on Earth Blue vinyl, the second album from the Jayhawks for the first time since originally issued in 1986 on vinyl. That's pretty cool. It's amazing how long things go before these things sort of appear again. But Mark Olson and Gary Louris, they're sort of like the main guys there in the Jayhawks. All of the other guys would probably be like, hey, we're here too. John Legend and his new record, Get Lifted Rising, his new Record Store Day record. So these are songs, 8 songs that were unreleased from the Get Lifted sessions. Didn't make the cut. Do What I Gotta Do, Motherless Child, Money Blown, Freak Out. If you like early John Legend before he got more smooth. I mean, he still was always sort of smooth, but you know, they're a little more probably influenced by the Roots, because he was sort of hanging with them more at that time. Jet, Get Born, Rarities. These are songs that are from the period of Jet's big breakthrough album. featured Are You Gonna Be My Girl? This has an alternate version of that and a live at AOL sessions version. Also features Sergeant Major, Hey Kids, Cigarettes and Cola demo, and also features Cold Hard Bitch live in 2003. So, and Jet seem to be making a big comeback. They've gone on tours, and people who sort of like, at the time were like, oh, they're like the Darkness, and the Darkness are making a comeback too. And I think it's funny how sometimes things can be seen as like novelties at one point in time, and then later down the road, people are like, oh, I kind of like that, or I give it more respect. So, George Harrison, Be Here Now. This was the sort of one of the official singles, Song of the Year for RSD. And it also features Beck's version of Be Here Now. I don't know if I showed that before or not, but there's a couple George Harrison pieces. If you saw my other video, you'd see that the All Things Must Pass Zoetrope record that we got is very limited because they cut our order down a lot on that. But we will have a few. Gunna, and if you're into hip hop here, Dollars on My Head featuring Young Thug. This is on RSD vinyl edition. Gunna's a pretty popular rapper. So yeah, it also features Travis Scott, Little Baby, Future. Young Thug's on it quite a bit. So anyway, Gunna. I don't ever remember seeing that record before, so maybe these are like not exclusive, but their first time on vinyl too. Soul Asylum, and this is an awesome live concert. 1997 prom band show on 2 LPs, first time on vinyl. A spontaneous and fun set featuring tons of classics and covers. Soul Asylum for Runaway Train is the song that like everyone sort of knows, and that is on here. But so is Rhinestone Cowboy, To Sir with Love, I Can See Clearly Now, Sexual Healing, The Tracks of My Tears. Also features their hits Black Gold and Somebody to Shove. Oh, and they do School's Out. They open with the Alice Cooper song. So I think that's a pretty cool live record, honestly. A couple of Shudder to Think records, and they were so... I was waiting for them to break big, and it didn't quite happen. But this is with very special guests. This is the soundtrack for First Love, Last Rites. It's not a really well-known movie, but the soundtrack did really well. Features, this is the first time on vinyl for this. Features guest vocalist Jeff Buckley, Billy Corgan, John Doe, Liz Phair, Nina Persson of the Cardigans, and more. And Robin Zander's on here, and Matt Johnson of the is on here. Mimi Parker and Alan Sparhawk of Low. Mimi just passed away last year, and Angela McCluskey's on here, and she just passed away too. And those of you who are sort of like in the know will know that this Shudder to Think that one of the guys actually ended up marrying Nina Persson of the Cardigans, so he ended up working with her a lot afterwards. And another Shudder to Think reissue. This is the Pony Express record, 30th anniversary edition of Alt Rock Classics, sourced from the original tapes. First pressing on 2 clear vinyl records. Features bonus rare live 2-track recordings. And so it's 4 sides of music. Produced by Ted Nicely, mixed by Andy Wallace, who was one of the go-to mixers in the 90s. Peter Tosh, Greatest Hits. This is pressed on tricolor green, gold, and red vinyl, limited edition. How cool is that? Peter Tosh, Johnny Be Good, You Gotta Walk, Don't Look Back, Just Say No, I'm the Toughest, Nothing But Love, Bush Doctor, Mystic Man, Wanted, Dread or Alive, and Buckingham Place. All right. This one, I can't wait to see who buys this. And I ordered more of these, and they only sent me 2. Lou Reed and Metal Machine Music. This is the 50th anniversary, the greatest record ever made in the history of the human eardrum, says Lester Bangs of Cream, March 1976. This was the album that I think Lou Reed sort of made to really piss off his record label. And I don't, it's a contractual obligation, and it was just pretty much noise. And man, they were pissed. But here it is again, 50 years later. All right. This is pretty cool. T-Rex, Mark Bolan, and Bolan B-sides. B-sides and bonus tracks, 25 B-sides, two bonus tracks, including Born to Boogie single mix. You know him as Mr. T-Rex, though. And they usually do a pretty good job of putting Mark Bolan stuff out. I did mention the album coming out from his widow, or no, well, yes, she's the widow, Vixen, which is by, now her name is going to escape me. It's because I've been here for 10 hours. But anyway, Gloria Jones. Wall of Voodoo, and another release from them. This is the Lost Tapes Live. 35-year-old tapes lost and now found, compiled from 24-track cassette tapes from the late 1980s worldly tours. It's like 7 days on a happy planet. Limited edition 2LP on translucent red and orange vinyl. We get a lot of these, and they're live recordings, so I don't know what the quality of them is, but it does feature Mark Moreland, Chaz Gray, Ned Luke Hart, and Andy Preboy. So I don't think that, again, Stan, I don't think Stan was part of this. So it's like a slightly different Wall of Voodoo, but anyway, Stan Ridgway. Let's see. Vicki Peterson and John Cowsill. And this is their album that they've made together. Vicki and John have recorded a classic that makes me want to dance with my honey on a Saturday night. It says Butch Vig, of all people, Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, and Garbage producer. Limited edition transparent green vinyl. I think if this runs out, there are probably more available. But Vicki was a member of the Bangles, and John was a member of the Cowsills. John Cowsill, which is, we're going way back there. Stan Lynch of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers says, really, really, really good. And Steve McDonald of Red Cross says, just wow, beautiful music by two of the most talented people I've ever known. Vicki, you know, I feel like she kind of got short shrift or whatever. Talented, and I don't know why. I don't know. The Bangles just couldn't get along. That's a problem. Teenage Bottle Rocket, Total. And so we're talking another sort of in-your-face rock classic. Radio, So Cool, Stupid Games, Fall for Me, Lost in Space, etc., etc. Bloodbath at Burger King. They're talking more like punk rocky stuff too. Let's see. Another hip-hop title, Oh Jeezy. And this is Jeezy World 2. And I have not seen this on vinyl before either. So that's pretty cool if you're into like the newer hip-hop. Featuring Cash Kid, Christian, Camilla. Yeah, you don't want to hear me pronounce all those. Tyga. Yeah. All right, last thing I got to show you here. Then you can shut me off. The Wicked soundtrack. Again, this is something that we ordered like a dozen of, and they only sent 2. And this is not surprising because they didn't make that many of these. And these are not cheap either. They're like pushing $60 on these. It's because of the limited cover, the colored vinyl. So I think you're sort of paying for like deluxe edition, basically. The one thing I noticed about this when I looked at it the first time, the regular version, was I'm like, this doesn't have some of the best songs that I thought like for good. And someone said, oh, there's part 2. And I'm like, they split it into a 2-part movie. So anyway, but this is the first half. So very popular, Oscar nominated. So as is mostly Ariana Grande. And yes, her and what can I think of the Cynthia Erivo. I told you it's late. All right, I got to go get something to eat before I keel over. It's dinner time. Thank you so much again for watching all of these. I really appreciate it. I want you all to just have a fantastic record store day. I think it's going to be another big one. I'm thinking it might be about the same as last year, which last year was the biggest day we ever had. So hopefully, fingers crossed, times are crazy and do stuff to help support independent businesses, because otherwise we end up with like some, people who think that they can just do whatever. And, all right, I said I'm not getting political on here, but can't we just like have some like calm? Like, does everything have to be so chaos? Hmm. Yeah, when you're in business, you really don't like chaos. That's what I've learned after 30 some years of this. So anyway, be safe, enjoy yourselves. If anyone gets out of line, let us know, and we'll call the police. They're like less than a block away, and I think they were out promoting this on their social media too. There was a cop in here the other day who was like taking pictures with with the album, saying, "I'm going to put this up on social media and promote you guys." So very cool. What can I say? You love the vinyl. I love the vinyl. My whole life I feel has been connected to vinyl, and one day when I leave this planet, that's going to probably be one of the things. There might be a couple, but that will be one of the things that people will always say, he was really into vinyl, wasn't he? All right. I love the music, and I love hearing it that way. I could go on about this. It's getting long. You need to go do what you got to do. All right. Peace.